Okay, folks, here we are. This is the King James Bible Prophecy 1611 KJV Church here. We're in the book of Daniel, and this is chapter 6. And we're moving on here to the next king, this Darius. And this is Darius the first, and he made one of the decrees to rebuild the temple there in Jerusalem. So he's a really good king here. And the province of Babylon has now moved on as the prophecy that Nebuchadnezzar got. This is the next phase of it. And Daniel is continuing on here. Now you're going to get a good view of the politics involved. There's 28 verses, the number of generations from David to Christ in this chapter and in 7 when the prophecies really start. Here we have some persecution, though, of our Saint Daniel. And you also get a view of the politics involved with these wise men and the handlers and the presidents that are set up. So this is also divine intervention here to protect the saint. Notice that we're getting that here in the first Babylon. And now in the mystery Babylon, we're going to have the same type of protection, Scripture says. So here we go, chapter 6 in the book of Daniel, verse 1. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom. And over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accompts, which is an Old English accompt, it's give account unto them, and the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Okay, so as I say, the people on the other side of the fence with the mystery religion of Babylon, they are angry about this. 4 is a new paragraph. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could not find occasion nor fault, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. 5. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. In 6. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king, and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. 7. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. Period. Okay, so, and this discernment is not here with Darius. He does not realize that he's being manipulated here for a purpose. 8, back into the scriptures. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Now, there's a very important issue for us historically. Notice, even though it's a split kingdom, that the laws here are still for both sides of this kingdom, Medes and Persians. 9. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Period. 10 is a new paragraph. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did aforetime. Okay, now if you go back to when the temple was built there during Solomon's time, Solomon talked about this, that if the people sinned and they were dragged away, that they could always face the temple when they prayed. So this is right there in the dedication there with King Solomon. He talked about them doing this, and here Daniel is doing that. 11. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God. Oh boy, there's a felony. There's a felony, folks. What's he doing? Praying. There you go. 12. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, that's like except for thee, O king, comma, shall be cast into the den of lions? Question mark. The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Then answered they and said before the king that Daniel, which is of the captivity of the children of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. 15. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is that no decree or statute which the king establisheth may be changed. Once again here you see how these wise men, sorcerer, president, leaders, advisors are going by a joint law between these two provinces. 16. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. Okay? So this Darius is a pretty good guy, although a little naive. The Lord is going to touch him to re-up the Cyrus decree to rebuild the temple. So he is going to be touched by the Lord. Notice here he has some type of faith to say that God will do this for Daniel. 17. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his Lord, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. 18, new paragraph. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God whom thou servest continually able to deliver thee from the lions? Question mark. 21. Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My God hath sent his angel, and hath shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then was the king exceeding glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God. Okay, there's your faith, folks. That is a growing relationship. Your faith should be growing, your knowledge, your wisdom and understanding. You know the prophecies. You know the prophecies have been fulfilled in the past, and they're going to be fulfilled in the future. The growing faith that a believer has. New paragraph in 24. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions, them, their children, and their wives. And the lions had the mastery of them, and brake all their bones in pieces, or ever they came at the bottom of the den. 25, new paragraph. Then King Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. So this was covering the whole province. 26. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God, and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. Wow, the king's got some knowledge there. 27. He delivereth and rescueth, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in earth, who hath delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. And we're going to see this same attack is going to come in the final attachment to the end of the book of Daniel. We're going to see it's called Bel and the Dragon. It's a great expose of the wise men, the sorcerers of Babylon. And he's going to be attacked by them there under King Cyrus also. Okay, folks, now we're going to move right along with 28 more verses in chapter 7. That prophetic number 7, that holy number 7 that God uses over and over. And here in chapter 7, we have prophecy, my favorite subject. Now this will harmonize with Nebuchadnezzar's prophecy that he got of these empires that were to be at that time and the one we're living in today. So here we go with the 4 great beasts, and these are beast empires here. Chapter 7 in the book of Daniel, verse 1. All right, now you get the timing here, because this is in the first year of Nebuchadnezzar's son. Okay, so, and you'll see others, as Daniel doesn't totally understand the prophecies that he's given. So we're going to get more of them explaining the same thing. So that's the benefit to Daniel asking for more information from the Lord. The Lord sending his angel, and then it being written down in a doctrine for us. So here's your timetable. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. So here we are. See, that's our doctrine. That's how it was given to us. 2. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the 4 winds of heaven strove upon the great sea. Okay, now those 4 winds are the 4 great cherubs that do the bidding of the Holy Ghost, do the bidding of God. They're called the 4 horses. They're called the 4 carpenters. In this case, they're called the 4 winds. And wind is a symbol for that invisible spirit. Now see, Christ explained that when he was here in the flesh about wind and how you can't see the spiritual world, but it's there. Okay, so there's that. 3, it says, and 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. Okay, there's the 4 empires. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. Okay? So there's your first Antichrist figure. Remember how Nebuchadnezzar had his hair grew to where he had claws and he had feathers like eagles. Okay? So notice here, this Antichrist figure is coming out of this empire, and how he's going to he's going to stand on his feet as a man, right? Because it's going to be run by this Antichrist figure, Nebuchadnezzar. 5, and behold, another beast as a leopard, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, and they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. Okay, now this happens in the turmoil of this split empire. Okay, a lot of people die, and anytime there's world government, there's death, always, in history. And this was no different. There was cutting off water to people. There was the sword being put to people. So there was the push and shove and war and death that was involved in the Media Persian Empire. 6, after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. Okay, so here you have the Greco-Roman. And it's broke up like we are today, like Mystery Babylon is, into 4 sections: north, south, east, and west. And all those empires had a plethora of leaders, Antichrist figures. But there it is, 4 heads. So we had the battle here with the 3 and the 3 ribs. Now the world's in this, as Rome comes out on top of Greece here, you still have the king of the south, the northern Khazari, you have the kings of the east, and that comes back in our time, the power of the west. Okay, so there's the European Union / Jerusalem / United States, power of the west. 7, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Okay? The 10 horns, 10 pentacles of power. Now, the Illuminists, the 13 Merovingian bloodline peoples, have obsessed over having 10 kings ruling the earth. And they worship that. That is their occult numerology, 2 5s. And you know, they started Rome, the European Union, back in the old days. We said, well, it's going to be re-upped. We're going to have old Rome redone. And people, oh, that just could never happen. Well, people said Jerusalem could never be rebuilt. The Jews could never go back there. They said all that. And here, you have this number over and over throughout society, so they would say, okay, it's 10, that's OPEC. And rightly it was. There was 10 members of OPEC. But that wasn't it. Well, this is European Union, which had 10 original countries. You see, this is a beast that devours the whole world. So that didn't exactly match up. But back in the early 80s, when I was in political science class, and I learned that there were 10 multinational corporations that had the world's wealth, up to 85% of the world's wealth in their pocket at that time, I knew this is it. This is the big picture. And the people running it are using occult numerology, so they obsess over the 10. You'll see it over and over and over, and there are other numbers they use over and over and over. And here it is. IBM, they were tied right into the Nazis. And they invented the technology to go into your body, to control people, and up into and including the mark of the beast. It's an old conspiracy. And that, back in the 80s, that's when I started studying IBM. And wrote a paper there in political science about the mark of the beast through technology. IBM. Now, this is going to be explained here. The 10 merchant kings, it was talked about there in the Club of Rome when they met in their satanic year there, the Feast of the Beast year, and they said this is the future. We're going to break the United States up into 10 sections. We're going to break the world up into 10 sections with the 4 major trading blocks. Actually, it's 3 with the power of the West intermingled. They talked about all that, and you'd bring that up to people, and you would get the deer in the headlights. Tom, you're nuts. You're nuts. Well, I might be nuts, but that's what the scripture says. And it's all come true. Okay, so back into the scriptures in 8. I considered the horns, and that's the horn of power, like I said. And behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. So there's your Antichrist, and he's going to destroy three of these kings and set himself up on the throne. It's so there is always turmoil with these Satanists. They only respect someone that has more power than they do. And so here it is. That's that. But instead of me giving you this, we'll let the Bible talk about it. Because, as I've said before, you just read on. 9 is a new paragraph. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. Like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. Okay, I always send people right back to Ezekiel for this vision of Christ here. There's another title for him. The Ancient of Days. And he's going to do what? He's going to destroy this kingdom. So there's that. He's going to take over. He's going to cast them down. This is literally the same vision that Nebuchadnezzar had, only using different symbols. It will be explained here. 10, a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. So that's right out of Revelation. It's throughout the Bible. This is Judgment Day. This is the destruction of the Antichrist and his kingdom. This is the vision of the saints coming true. This is the prayer of the saints coming true. Okay? 11 it says, here's the destruction of this creature. I beheld then in 11, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake, I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. So there you go. Goodbye, oppressor. Have a nice trip to hell, like in Isaiah 14 there. 12. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. Okay, that's right. The roots were left in the stump, folks. All these things, like having the old Roman Empire upped. And there they had their shrine there in Brussels. And there was a lady who was Eurippa. And she was riding a bull on their shrine. And underneath it said, Rebuilding Babylon. The lady rides the beast. And that was a dedication to Eurippa. And she was intermingled, the daughter of Zeus. And so there they really announced it as they started with the 10 original parts to Rome. So you see how the root of the ugly trees stayed in these kingdoms, just did. And all for the time and the season when Mystery Babylon would absorb all of those, and then Christ will cast it down forever. 13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory, and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Okay, so there it is. Father, Son, Holy Ghost come to earth. The North Star landing right here forever. The third heaven, it's called. 15 is another paragraph. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me, and made me to know the interpretation of the things. Here we go with the interpretation, folks. 17. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. That's what we're headed for, folks. Never lose sight of that. 19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass. Sounds just like Nebuchadnezzar's vision, didn't it? Which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. That's right. That's what we're getting today, folks. This Antichrist is here. He was impregnated there in 1966. He turned 33 years old at the turn of the century. 20. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other, which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, in the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them. So that's what we're getting today, folks. And this Antichrist figure with the power of Lucifer is going to keep attacking us You and I must be wise as serpents, gentle as doves, and we must live by this feud. It's never going away. 22. It'll go away here in 22, the number of chapters in the book of Revelations, until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. That's where we're headed, folks. Thus, he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. Okay, so that's a good view of where we're at. They have all these wars, and they'll sit at the same table and tell lies to each other at their world government meetings. They all meet at these meetings. Every country does. There's no one that doesn't. There's a world council of everything from power to medicine, churches. When it come time to lock everyone down and destroy the economy, they did that. And here's another description of them. And these kings are in stealth. They're in stealth. So they're ruling over the visible kings of the earth, visible leaders. One of these big horns is IBM. During the Super Bowl years ago, they semifinals and finals, they bought up all the commercial time, and they set their Uberman in the middle of all these shrines. Hardly anything spoken. And if you knew their symbology, they were doing nothing but advertising the birth of the Antichrist. So there you are. Even in the finals, they had the same type of thing. This blonde-haired, blue-eyed, like albino world leader just sitting there on his throne in the middle of all the shrines. The shrines would change. And for most people, they didn't have any idea what they just saw. You see, symbols reveal to the persons that are educated and conceal against what they call the profane. So most people didn't even know what they saw. There would be a 5-minute commercial just advertising the Antichrist. Okay? And he is one of these 10 horns. Listen to this in 24. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall rise, and all other shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. Now, we talked about that in the earlier scriptures. Now, what about this world leader? 25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a times, and the dividing of time. Okay, so that's an important one. We're going to take this leap into God's kingdom. And the times in half, that's 42 months. That's 1,290 days. That is half of that 7-year Shabuel, which is a period of 7, and in this case, in Daniel, it's a week of years. So there it is. So notice the time is going to be divided here. 26, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. So you see, he's going to be quick to rise, and he is going to fall. 27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Obey who? Obey Jesus. 28. Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart. Now see, as he's going to keep asking for more explanations, things are not clear to him. So there's going to be more of these prophecies given. You're going to see more of the timing of when these prophecies are given, and he wrote them. So as we put these prophecies together, these things are going to be discussed. They're going to be explained by the angel. And this is where, by reading the complete book of Daniel, we get the clear picture of what the world government's going to do, and how Christ is going to come back, and then Christ is going to set up his kingdom forever. I'll see you on the other side, folks.